It's a village, yes.
It is a village, yeah.
It's bigger than a hamlet.
Yeah.
We haven't got a shop, but we've got a village hall, a church, and a school. There's a junior school.
Good school. I mean, people get bussed into this school.
So it's nice. So you've got all different ages because you've got a school. You've got young families, and because it's Devon and it's in the country, you've got older people as well. So we've got everything. We moved here about 4 years ago, and that was our criteria, really. We weren't bothered about a shop, but we wanted all the other things in the list.
We live in a very, very unique situation where we live on a little woodland plantation that's owned by our friends, and we live in a little cabin, a little independent cabin within that plantation. And I've got a little workspace, and we have about an acre to roam around in. It's quite magical, and we're unbelievably fortunate. We just rent it. We sold our place in London and have ended up here, and it's very rural. We have to drive everywhere to go if you want to go to a shop or station or whatever, but I'm just looking out, it's just wild woodlands outside. Richard was a landscape architect and a farmer when I first met him, and then was doing garden design in London, and I'm a clothes designer, and but you know, basically horsey girl at heart, so it's quite nice getting out into the country. Yeah, it's been good. It's been very good.
It's a hamlet, really. We're not near to any shops whatsoever, and not near to any kind of safe walking areas. It's all very rural. And we live in an annex to my son's house. I think the main motivation was to be close to family so that they could be close at hand. We would keep our independence and be as self-reliant as possible, but they would be there.
It's in Surrey. We're about 25 miles from London.
Between Dorking and Reigate.
Yes, between Dorking and Reigate. That's
so
true.
we're on a main road.
It's rural, but it's not remote, is how I would put it. And it's very beautiful. We live in an area of outstanding natural beauty. I can look out of the window and I can see Box Hill, Box Hill in the distance, and it's lovely. The only problem is we do get Gatwick airplanes coming over the top of us.
Oh yes, Gatwick.
There you go. You can't have everything. We live on a village green, which sounds sort of quaint, but actually the fact that you all face each other is very interesting. We know everybody, and so you walk out and you see people, and people wave at you from their windows, or we know everybody, which is really, really quite interesting, which I think sort of doesn't happen in streets somehow. I don't know, it's because and we have quite a lot of picnickers on the village green and all that sort of thing, so it doesn't feel remote at all. And there's a village shop, and it's not a village pub, but it's not that far away either. It never occurred to me at the time. It's only now you're asking me the question. I think that it didn't make any difference. We weren't. It wasn't slow because we live in a rural community.
We didn't know anything about it until
last May. You were diagnosed.
Yeah, but in actual fact, in looking back, it was there already. From my point of view.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, my wife's sort of clear.
I don't know. Sometimes I think they've put the wrong name on the diagnosis. I think it's me.
No, it's they've got it the right way around.
You couldn't park the car on the drive.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't park the car on the drive, and then Linda sort of looked at it and thought, because there was no reason why not. I mean, you could get 2 tanks inside the side almost. But there we go.
So we contacted the doctor, and then
it was all done straight through.
We went to the doctor. I think it was that very same day that I contacted the doctor. Actually, we went that afternoon. He did a test, and said, I think it is dementia. We'd like you to go to the memory clinic in Exeter. And I think we went there about the following week, or it was either a week or 10 days, something like that. And he had the diagnosis then of, yes, it's definitely dementia. Then he went for a brain scan, probably the week after that. It was all very, very quick. And then they said it's Alzheimer's. So it was all done extremely efficiently.
When my husband developed it or started to develop it, we thought in 2007, we decided eventually to move and do something about the garage in my son and daughter-in-law's garden, because we felt that it was better to do something whilst we were still able, rather than hang fire and hope for the best. It was best to be ahead of the game. So that's why we did it, and we haven't looked back actually. The only downside is downsizing. It's quite difficult.
Process didn't really start in London, apart from the fact that I was finding it hard to pay the mortgage, because we were just, Richard was sort of not able to do invoicing and things, and it was getting quite critical. And I just thought, I can't really handle this. Let's try a different model, which was sell up and do something different. And it was only then, and I thought, if we move out and get rid of the mortgage and any stresses, maybe if he's suffering from some sort of depression, that'll help and things will get better. But the things didn't. So we then kept on with the doctors, going backwards, the GP all the time going, oh, what's going on? What's going on? He gave us antidepressants, Richard antidepressants. And then a friend of his was doing a medical trial to rule out Alzheimer's in somebody so young. So we did the amyloid PET scan and got the diagnosis of Alzheimer's, which was a real blow. So he was aged 55, something like that. 55, very young.
The last thing we want to have to cope with is Alzheimer's and dementia, but we are, and let's just face it and just do it.